What's up, guys? It's Sean, aka Elite, and today I'm going to be explaining FIFA 23 chemistry for you guys. Chemistry has been the exact same in FIFA for as long as I can remember. For as long as I've been playing FIFA, it's been red link gives you no chemistry, orange link gives you a little bit of chemistry, green link gives you good chemistry, and then those hyperlink green links give you a lot of chemistry, and that's just how it's been. You would have to be in an adjacent position to somebody in the same league, country, or club as you. But if you had Messi and Donnarumma in the same team, well, it wouldn't make a difference because one plays right wing, one plays goalkeeper. They're not going to link with each other. And if you threw in somebody with zero chemistry into a game, well, they're going to play like crap because they all get their stats downgraded because they got zero chemistry. Everything I just mentioned is out the window, and this is going to explain it in a very easy way for everybody to understand how chemistry works in FIFA 23. So if you enjoy, do not forget to drop a like on the video for more FIFA 23 content and subscribe to the channel if you're new, because we're going to see all of the SBC cheapest solutions here on this channel, as well as our Trading to Glory series and how to make FIFA 23 coins from scratch and make yourself a millionaire very quickly. Let's get started. Messi, that's the example we'll use to start at right wing. Now, as you can see on the right side of your screen, you can see he's from PSG, he's from the French league, and he's from Argentina. Now, the first thing I want you to note is the fact that there are 2 slots right here for PSG. There are 3 slots right here for Ligue 1, and there are 2 slots here for Argentina. That is how many players it needs for each player from that respective league or nation to get 1 chemistry point. Another thing I want you to notice is that you have a total chemistry of 33. It's no longer chemistry 100. 33 is the absolute maximum amount of chemistry as well. While in previous years, for chemistry, capping it at 100 didn't really make sense because technically you could have 110 chemistry in your team. This year, that's not the case. 33 is the absolute maximum because you can only get 3 per player, and there are 11 players. So 11 times 3, 33, that's how you get that number. Another thing to consider is that for a certain club, league, and nation, there's a maximum of 9 players that would actually contribute to it. But in the end, if you threw on 2 more, they would still get the 3 chemistry points because that's all you need is 3 chemistry points. Even if you qualified for more chemistry points, you're still only going to get 3. That's what it caps at. So Messi links with, well, Bernat is also at PSG. And if we threw Bernat at left back, you can see how both of them get 1 chemistry point automatically because 2 players from PSG mean they both get a chemistry point right there. Now we would need 2 more players to get everybody on PSG 2 chemistry points. So let's say we added Mbappe and Neymar. Mbappe and Donnarumma, say, instead, just because they're a little bit not together. You can see how all of them actually end up with full chemistry. All the players from the same country or from the same league have actually gotten us up to 1 chemistry point for Ligue 1, and then we've got 2 chemistry points for PSG. And since they're all in Ligue 1 and they're all at PSG, they have full chemistry. If we get rid of one of them right there, now we've only got 2 or 3 players from PSG. We don't have that extra chemistry point for PSG. So we're at 1 chemistry point for PSG, 1 chemistry point for Ligue 1. Hopefully this is making sense so far. But let's go ahead and make things a little bit trickier. Let's say we added Dante instead to our team. Dante being from a different nation and a different club, well, they're both still at 0 chemistry. You can see how you need 3 players from the French league to get your first chemistry point, while you only need 2 players from the exact club or nation. So right now, we're still 1 player away from getting our first chemistry point from these players. If we added a completely different player, let's say Bamba, to the team, Bamba would actually help us out a little bit because he is going to give us another Ligue 1 player. But what's the problem now? He's out of position. This year, if the player does not exactly fit the position, he's not going to contribute any chemistry points to the team. Not only is his card completely going to have 0 chem, but his card also doesn't contribute to the list here. You can see how it's yellow, saying there's a potential for an extra chemistry point for Ligue 1, but it's not there yet because you need to convert Bamba to a left wing. And now that he's left wing, you see we've got 3 players from the French league and they all have 1 chemistry point. You can go all the way down the list and it completely and the list gets longer and longer and longer as you add more players. Let's say we add Dani Alves to the team. And when we add Dani Alves to the team, you can see Dante ends up getting 2 chemistry points, while Dani Alves has 1 because of Brazil. And the list gets longer and longer. Let's go ahead and add a completely different player to the team, like Bono, who's a Moroccan, well, this works too, a different goalkeeper that is from the USA and from Toronto. Well, he's not going to get any chemistry, but this list on the right side of our screen, it gets longer and longer and longer as we go along. You can see it goes all the way down there for potential chemistry to be added to the team. In fact, I think this year it's easier to get chemistry than it is in previous years. I don't think it's going to take quite as much thinking, quite as much time, and it's going to be a little less stressful because now if you've got a player from a decent league or decent nation, it won't be any difficulty for you guys to get him into your team. Like in previous years, if you had a player like Anderson Talisca, it was really tough to get Anderson Talisca into your team because Anderson Talisca also played for a Saudi team, and that's very hard to link, right? It's really tough to get him into your team as a center mid or as a striker. So it's really tough for you to link them and get full chemistry. Well, this year you could actually just go for Talisca linking with a right back. From, let's say you go Dani Alves at right back, and then you go with Ederson in goalkeeper, and then you go with Marquinhos at center back. Well, that's nowhere near his card up here, but it's still going to get full chemistry because of all the Brazilians that are in the team. So let's talk about position change now, because the position change method has changed as well. You used to be able to take a player and move them all the way up the pitch, all the way down the pitch, depending on what position changes were available. If you had a card that was a right mid, you could make him a right forward if you wanted to, but you couldn't make him a right wing back. And for players like Rafael Guerreiro, well, that's a guy who can play left back, left wing back, left mid. Heck, you could even probably put him at left wing if you really wanted to in real life, but he wouldn't really be able to in previous FIFAs because you can't change him from left wing back to left mid. Same thing for Acuna, left wing back to left mid. Well, this year, you can't. And it's going to make positions and formations a little bit trickier because maybe a player can play left wing, left mid, and right mid, but he actually can't play right wing in the game. So it's just going to be depending on the individual player and what EAC they've played in the past. For example, that Anderson Talisca card that we were just looking at, well, you used to be able to play him at center defensive mid if you wanted to. Well, this year, not the case. You can't even play him at center mid. You can only play him at striker, center forward, or center attacking mid because those are the only positions that they see he can play. So they're going to go ahead and limit him to those positions. Let's say there's a card that is like Ozil, right? Ozil used to be able to play at striker or center defensive mid, but for Ozil, he's pretty much only a 10, a pure center attacking mid. So they're probably going to limit him to just that position in the game. And it goes for a lot of different players. Sergio Busquets, I've never seen him play anything but the 6. So they're probably going to limit him to center defensive mid and maybe center mid if you're lucky. So it just depends on which positions they end up giving him. Let's take a look at Messi. And obviously some of these aren't updated because the game isn't fully out yet, but you can see you can play Messi at right wing, at striker, at center forward, and at right mid. But you can't play him at left wing, you can't play him at center mid, you can't play him at all these other positions that you think you would be able to in previous years. In fact, you can't even move him to right forward. And the reason for that? Well, it's going to blow your mind. That doesn't exist in FIFA 23. Left forward and right forward are positions that have been eradicated from the game. They don't exist anymore. So that is one position you won't have to worry about. And also a couple of formations that you will no longer see in the game. Let's try to think of a player that plays in a couple of weird positions that wouldn't naturally be able to actually switch positions in previous years, but might be able to this year. Let's go ahead and take a look at Guerrero, right? Guerrero, left back normally, he can now also play at left mid, which was not possible in previous years unless he got an inform or a special card that was a completely different card from what we saw here. And those are all positions that Guerrero can play. Maybe a player like Philipp Lahm, who was a right back for most of his career, could also be moved to center defensive mid, where he played a lot more, a little bit for Germany, and more so towards the end of his career. You might be able to move him to center defensive mid. Now, as much as I would love to see it, you're probably not going to be able to see Neuer playing center back, although I wonder when the first goalkeeper will be able to be position changed from goalkeeper to any other position, because that will be a monumental moment that I'm waiting for. It might not come for years to come, but it would be pretty funny and pretty cool once it does happen. Hopefully you guys understand chemistry a little bit more now, and hopefully this video helped you out. If it did, do not forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.